Everyone good? Air guard, you guys good over there? Not paying attention? This is actually kind of set up for you.
So as Bill said, I'm Frank Hackett. This is Justin Brown. I call him Spritle. That's his handle. Yeah. So who are we?
We're a bunch of nobodies. I'm a Baylor University grad. I have a internship for InfoSec, and I work for Hackers of Charity when I'm not doing consulting for various other projects. Like Bill said, I help maintain the AIDE website right now. So, on you, Hackett.
So I'm a senior systems engineer by day. That's my title. I'm a glorified Windows admin when you get right down to it. Love computers, love what I do, and been trying to get into security now for the past year, and it's finally starting to happen a little bit. So having a blast with it. So of course, what are we talking about? Yeah, we're kind of going to go over some of the stuff that's worked for us, some of the stuff that hasn't, where we've hit roadblocks, where we've had success.
Where we've seen other people hit roadblocks, and just kind of go, really, dude?
And also some tips for the mentors out there. There's some things that some of you older guys have done that end up hurting the younger guys, and you may not realize it. So we're going to try to go over that as well. So the very first thing with getting into any kind of security, learn to communicate with people. There's a million ways that we all talk. The biggest for me, I think for a lot of people, is on IRC. Hang out in there all day, see all kind of stuff. With Freenode, you've got rooms dedicated to all the different tools you use, the different OSs that you use. There's people in there that you can hit. Relic will pop in and be like, hey, dude, I got a question about set. That's an awesome time to ask. So,
and please, don't ask to ask, just ask questions. Also, if you have anything to add to this talk, throw it up. If you guys have questions, ask us. This is free and open. We're kind of short on time, so this also kind of be a dialogue between us and you guys.
Yeah, especially on IRC, someone in there is either going to know or they're going to want to know the exact same thing that you're asking. So throw it out there. Don't, hey, do you mind? Not anymore. You already asked me something. So, and for the love of God, check Google. FAQs before. Don't ask us how to make, I love this one, how does set work over the internet? Yeah, I figured it out. Get on Twitter. It's amazing. The guy that got me here, Bill, that's pretty much how I met him, going back and forth. You can make great contacts. You can just branch out. You've got so much opportunity, so much free knowledge that can be gained by 140 characters or less. It's ridiculous. So all the links that come out.
Yes, Bill.
I'd like to point out the name of the service is Twitter, not Tweeter.
Well, that's the other thing I forgot to say. I am a mountaineer. We call it Tweeter.
You didn't get a W, so we'll give you a pass.
It's Tweeter in my book.
In your neck of the woods.
Exactly.
Up and down that call.
So, and the other great thing about Twitter, it's open and free knowledge. There's so much stuff out there. So many links that people share. I know like Mubix is great about sharing shared links. Same with CG. Just click on it and look at it. Even though Boris isn't here, it's okay to click on some things. So some of the people that we have followed on Twitter.
Friends of ours, people that might be here.
Yeah, some of the guys are here, some aren't. People that kind of help influence you, without a doubt.
Conferences that you should attend.
Yeah. And again, I mean, if you can get that free knowledge from someone, why not?
So, meeting people in real life. Yes, it sucks, but guess what? Amazingly, there are meetups that are related to security. I live in Austin, Texas. We have what's called AHA, which is Austin Hackers Anonymous. It's actually run by HD Moore. Nova.
Nova Hackers up outside of DC, and you go there. You've got some amazing guys that talk and listen to it. The knowledge you can just get by just going out and like, hey, I know nothing. Let me go hang out with these guys, see what they're all about.
There's the OffSec Ohio chapter if you're over in Ohio. If you're in West Virginia, you have 304 Geeks, which is a good resource, headed up by our buddy Bill in the back. Wait, Bill's vice president of 304 Geeks. You give him that.
There's all kind of cons to go to. There's God knows how many cons these days.
200 and something.
You know, we listed some of the ones that are kind of local in this area. You've got B-sides, everything at this point.
There's a B-sides near you. Go check it out.
Yeah. But, you know, hang out, have a beer, buy someone a beer. You might find out something. The biggest thing that I've kind of learned, I learned this at Carolina Con, don't play the CTF all day. Actually go listen to the talks. Otherwise, you kind of miss out on everything that you went there for.
Yeah, Joe McRae runs Security Rookies. He used to go to DEF CON every year to go play CTF. After about 5 years, he's like, you know what? I'm spending all my time in CTF and not meeting all the people that I want to hang out with and be able to connect with and meet. So he's kind of just like, all right, you know what? It's really fun to do. I got some cool stuff out of it. But you know what?
That's it. You're not going to make the connections if you're just staring at your screen all day. It is fun battling concealed in a CTF, I will say that. But go meet some people. They don't bite, usually.
You can learn a lot through the CTS, but you learn a lot more through the conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hallway Con is not overrated, and it's not rated high enough. That's the awesome thing about going to, say, Derby Con. The Hallway Con is awesome.
Online resources, IRC, which we already touched on. Skype is huge. Google Hangouts are coming up. I don't really like them. I try to stay away from Google if possible. Twitter again, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I know it's...
Mr. Hackett, I'd like to point out that Facebook is actually called Facebook.
must
Is that another WVUism?
It must have been a typo
Okay.
somewhere. It has nothing to do with the stock. LinkedIn, for me, has been a great resource as far as meeting people, getting involved in groups. Some of the discussion that goes on within those groups, some of it is meaningless. Other times, it's been great.
I find mailing lists pretty valuable. When you mentioned IRC, and
Absolutely.
for each project,
Yeah.
usually mailing
Well,
lists for each project.
yeah, like Nova Hackers, our mailing list, I must get 200 emails a day from those guys.
Right.
And some of it you look at, and I don't care, I don't want to read this. I've seen some insight from those dudes that stuff that I couldn't even think about. You know, it's amazing what the different levels of people that you can hit very easily. So then, of course, ANSI's InfoSec All-Stars. If you're interested, please see Bill in the back.
Those are my only 2 interns so far.
For Bill.
Yeah. Guys, and especially if you're trying to get into it, learn to listen. Everyone has an opinion. You've got to kind of earn the right to have that opinion. And one thing that helps me, I think, has helped Spido as well. Listening to the guys that have put in the time, they've done the due diligence to have those opinions. Listen to them. There's a ton of podcasts out there. You may like one over the other. Pick one, listen to it, see what you think. You might learn something. You never know.
Yeah. These are a handful of ones that we listen to. Rescue Business is actually out of Australia, and it's actually a pretty nice one, especially if you have to go into a consulting gig and be able to communicate with executives or business people that you don't normally associate with that aren't techies.
2 other good ones. Yeah, Social Engineer Podcast.
Yep.
And Euro Trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's some very good stuff too.
So stop being lazy. You're not going to read a book and overnight become a hacker. I know there's a guy that offers a become a hacker in 15 minutes over the course of 4 hours course. It's not going to work for you.
We're not sure what we do with the other 345, but we're waiting. We're figuring that one out.
Yeah. Get involved with some of these people you've just met, either online or at a con or somewhere.
Keep in touch with them. Send them an email. Follow them on Twitter. Shoot them a tweet.
So, and some of the ways we've
Just
gotten
say,
involved.
Not to interrupt yet again your presentation, but something that really helps me, King State, might have you guys Skype.
Well, that's yeah.
You
Kind of
like a
ANSI's.
bunch of old women. We get on Skype to talk about people, but we also have meaningful conversations about things.
Yeah, well, like the ANSI's All Stars. That's kind of our little Skype hangout, and at least once a week, there's probably 4 or 5 of us that get on there, and we'll talk to each other, or hack, or drink, to God knows what time in the morning. So I hate myself on Sundays usually, but it's definitely worth it, and you just have that interaction. You can't beat it.
Saying, hey, I'm working through this problem on my lab. Do you have any ideas what to do, attack it, whatnot?
Yeah. Like Spritel here has been very big with the Hackers for Charity. We're both involved with Joe McCrae Security Rookies, which has been an outstanding program. Recently, we both went on our first on-site pen test with Joe. There's nothing like walking into a high security environment and going, all right, here, go own a box. It was hard. It was very hard. We ended up hacking for 21 hours straight.
Yep. After we've been on the engagement for about a month doing some offsite stuff, and then we've spent the last 2 weeks kind of like, Joe was on site with some various people, and we got pulled in for the last week, and last weekend for him, it was quite an eye-opener.
It was an all-night marathon.
Here's the amount of work you have to do in a pen test. No one really tells you the amount of work you actually need to do for that, and big eye-opener of, hey, you have to do work. And there's a lot of it.
You got to do all this stuff. You got to do it well and everything else. So the other
Better
thing,
like reporting.
reporting sucks. It doesn't matter what the profession is. Reporting sucks. Make your own group. Kind of like we've done. We all have a like interest. We all have various skill levels in different objects. We share that knowledge with each other. We hang out. We talk. We have fun. There's nothing that says you can't. Find people in here and say, hey, you know what? Next Saturday, let's have a Skype call. Just might work out. So I don't know how that got in there.
Don't invite them back.
Budget labs. A lot of guys, I've seen people kind of freak out like, well, I want to practice stuff. I need a lab. I don't have $10,000 server. You don't need it. There's free hypervisors out there. VirtualBox, VMware Player. If you want to invest the money, get VMware Workstation. It works great for me. Fusion on the Mac, can't beat it. Kind of think small. You don't need an entire domain. You don't need subdomains.
You don't need clients and a DC and your entire corporate environment. Start with just, hey, let's hit Microsoft, hit XP Service Pack 3 with no patches. Because believe it or not, that's actually in the corporate environment and very common.
Start vulnerable. Don't try to break into Fort Knox on your first night. You're going to get frustrated. You're not going to like where it's going, and you might give up, and that sucks. Start vulnerable, start small, and trust me, there's always room to grow.
ESXi.
What's that?
ESXi.
Yeah. If you got the hardware for it, absolutely. So learning to read. I know books are terrible.
These 2 books actually deal with building your own hack lab. So just kind of understanding what to work through. Command dash H, whatever your command is, dash H, or just look at the man page. Yes, Bill.
There's a big missing book up there, which is the Metasploit book.
There's a handful of missing books out there.
There's a whole lot of books missing.
But by the same token, you shouldn't get you can't have tunnel vision on one tool.
Oh, I agree.
Metasploit is great.
There's also a good section on
And, the guy that wrote it, I owe a beer to. But
Or 2 or 3.
yeah, as the night may go.
I can trust that.
But yeah, don't get that tunnel vision into one tool.
Or it's like, Theodore's in that book is a nice, it's a nice big book.
And it's a great intro to TCP/IP and how things function.
Absolutely. And then look at the code of some of this stuff. Don't necessarily steal the code, but look at it.
It's not stealing, it's repurposing.
Well,
You're gonna do it at least that.
yeah,
You should give credit.
it's like the Websploit toolkit with their 99 exit menu.
Yeah. At least up to the plastic.
Yeah, you should definitely look at the code, understand it, know how it's working.
What, you mean I shouldn't host Nextpose on a public server and let people scan themselves with it?
Check out some online forums as well. There's a ton of great resources out there. Biggest thing that's helped me through my entire IT career is Google Foo. If you know how to use Google, you can find it, you can read about it. My God, you can research it. So definitely check it out. Things with Google too, google.com/Linux/Microsoft will tailor your search results towards more of what you're looking for. So some of the stuff that, doesn't work, hasn't worked. Don't get online and be a troll. No one likes it. No one's going to deal with it.
You really get trolled back?
Yes, sir.
Is this the pot calling the kettle black?
Sometimes.
Mr. Hackett?
This is all Hackett's idea?
You know, learn how to take a joke. This stuff is hard to learn. It's frustrating to learn at some points. You know, if we can have a laugh about it, why not? You know, it relaxes everyone. It works. If it's at your expense once in a while, so be it.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. As I think we were talking before, you kind of need a sophomore sense of humor to be in this industry, and you got to be able to, you know, take punches. And
Yeah, you got to be able to roll with the punches. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't spam people. If you've asked a question and they haven't gotten back to you, I know this is shocking. They may not be in front of their computer at that second.
Especially in IRC.
Yeah.
You know, spamming the channel's not. It kind of gets you kicked.
Yeah.
A lot.
And so there's some people that may just not want to talk to you for whatever reason. You know, as well, be open to new ideas and different approaches to things. Just because, hey, I'm a system engineer, this is how I do things. Coming in InfoSec, it's kind of going, well, let's make a U-turn and go back the way I just came. I've got to be open to that. I've got to look at these different approaches to problem solving that I'm not used to. So, and then don't expect the step-by-step stuff. People will lead you and guide you. They're not going to tell you exactly how to do it. You know, and to an extent, you really can't be told how to do it. You've got to kind of learn on your own.
We can throw you in the deep end and kind of. We hope you swim.
So yeah, know who you're talking to, by all means. Especially if maybe this half of the room over here a little bit more than this half of the room. People lie on the internet. And it's kind of mind-boggling that, you know, anyone would lie in this day and age. People do all the time.
There's our shout out to House. You know, everybody lies.
Yeah. So you know who you're talking to. There's a difference between someone who's an aggressive, you know, hacker versus a security professional. You know, I threw anonymous in there. Not only anonymous, you know, nullsec, even the jester would fall into that. You know, they may not want to help you as much as, you know, maybe kind of hinder you or get coverage for them or something along those lines. So you definitely do some background. Know who it is you're talking to.
You understand that not everyone actually wants to.
I just say, yeah, if you go on boards, message boards and stuff like that, and somebody offers you a script to solve your problem, I don't recommend downloading that and running it.
Understand how to read some code. With the MS-1220 bug that came out a couple months ago, the very first proof of concept, quote unquote, was actually a way to RM your box, which means
Just delete everything, start over again.
So understand how to read some basic code. Understand what commands it's calling.
So, lastly, kind of protect yourself online. I don't mean protect yourself like what Adrian talked about yesterday, the anti-forensics, but don't offer up your personal information. Just because I met this guy Spraddle online and, hey, yeah, let me call you. Well, I'm not giving you my number. I don't know really who you are yet. I do now, but, you know, at first moment, no, I didn't. So have some common sense there.
And if you're asking folks for help within the security community and they've never met you in the community, they may be a little hesitant.
Absolutely.
To give you
If you're gonna come and say like IRC, lurk for about a month before you start talking, because then they've seen you part join, they're used to seeing your name, so they're a little more open to, hey, you know, you seem like you're interested.
Well, and also be aware of where you're joining these places from. If you're coming, if you're popping into IRC from, let's say a work, you may not want that IP in there. You know, some people don't want their house's IP in there. You know, you can use a free mask with Freenode. Hit SS, for the love of God, use SSL.
Freenode offers it on 3 different ports. Use them.
So, kind of stuff that's helped us.
Scripting, using the power of the for loop. It was very popular yesterday.
Yep. This recent pen test we just came off of, using a 3-line script and the for loop, we dumped 400 some passwords out of about 600.
387 out of the 600 something. Yeah,
Whatever it was.
it was hilarious.
And yeah, learn some scripting, learn the basic stuff. You don't have to write these masterpieces that some guys have. You know, you don't need the next version of Metasploit to pop out of your box, but you know how to do some basic stuff. It's going to save you a lot of headaches, save you a lot of time in the long run. Get comfortable on the command line.
Yep.
GUI's great. Command line's a lot better. And I say that as a Windows guy. I sit in command line all day, even with Windows. So you have to be an aggressive learner with this stuff.
It's highly valuable in this industry. You have to be able to willing to say, I don't know this, but you know, but in the next 24 hours, I'll at least know the basics of it and be able to operate it effectively.
So yeah, learn the stuff, go after it, kind of attack it. You know, if you're thirsty for knowledge, people are going to respect that. They're going to want to help you get to that next level. Kind of last.
We watched our 12-year-old buddy from San Diego and ISD podcast come in and go, hey, how do I do this? And people have kind of with Dawson bones here and there, and he's just kind of eating them up as he's gone along. It's just like, if you're 12 and you learn more in the last like month than we've seen guys who've been in this channel for a year.
Yeah. And then definitely help out where you can. You don't have to be a master hacker. You know, you don't have to be working to be the next step. If you have some basics that you can offer on, you know, serve them up. Chances are someone's going to need it. Just help out. There's no reason not to. Don't be greedy. You can't just take. You got to give back. And I've seen that be a big thing within this community.
That's why we're here.
Exactly.
Like we've been taking for a while, and now it's time for us to start.
Now it's time to give back a little bit on the levels where we're able to.
Some people are limited in that area.
Everyone's got something that they can offer, you know. And if you don't, keep working at it until you do. And once
Well, I'm just saying, corporate.
oh yeah, absolutely. But some of the skill sets, you know, when I say give back, I don't mean, you know, dump a script. Keep your secrets to yourself. But someone's going, hey, how did you win that box yesterday? What script did you run? Yeah, hook them up with that for loop. Yeah, it works.
And then, like, there's a little bit of finding your niche. Figure out like what it is that you're actually really good at. Some of us we're actually really good at Google Foo and doing the setting up our Ascent stuff. So, you know, we get our say, hey, we have our next target. Yeah, by 8 o'clock the next morning, the Ascent report was done.
Yeah.
Don't know how that happened.
But and there's different things you can do. You know, there's red team, there's blue team, OSAT, crypto, development, scanner monkeys. God knows they have a place.
Doing
SecOps and policy writing. You know, chances are, somewhere in that list, there's going to be something that made you kind of go, oh, you know, I'd really like to learn that. I'd really like to do that. Go for it. Why not? You know, can't hurt.
That's it.
So questions and comments. If you got it, throw it up.
Please, we actually have time.
Yeah, we powered through that real quick.
I got a comment. So I'm by no means an accountant or a lawyer, but if you read the IRS's handbook for small businesses, if your intent is to make a profit, then you can be a small business. So some of this is tax write-offs. But you have to intend to make a profit. It cannot be a hobby for every state.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you can get subsidization for that?
No, but you can get
You
it
get
goes
tax
against your
write-off.
tax. Like a tax write-off.
I'd say the other thing too to kind of be
Meals included.
wary of,
80%.
like, know where your limits and bounds are. Some of us have corporate
Does that
jobs.
include the beer?
No, no alcohol actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of us that have the corporate jobs, we can't hit IRC in a day. We may not be able to get on Twitter or Facebook all day. Your boss may not like the idea that you want to be a hacker. Know where your boundary is, and don't cross that line because it's going to come back to you.
So we know some people here that don't hit IRC from their house because it's so well locked down.
Yeah.
Dave.
I don't care, man. I hate my house.
Dave had to jump onto his guest wireless.
Yeah, there you go. My guest wireless employee.
That's, you know, I've been very fortunate. My boss is very cool. He's been extremely supportive in the last year of my life where I'd say, hey, I'm going to start doing Joe's internship and I want to work towards this. And I want to bring this back to the company and everything else.
He's offering to pay for assist.
He's paying for my CIS. He's paying for me being here. He's paying for DerbyCon. You know,
Derby
Derby
Con.
Con.
A lot of employers, once they see that drive and the ROI, once you start being able to produce things that
Yep.
they may have had to prior spend a lot of money on an external consultant to come in to do, will definitely.
But
buy
at the same
that.
token, your employer might go, absolutely not. We don't employ those type of people here. I've heard that before.
But I know that employers do want to find people that are driven to learn on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I have to be careful. I don't take this laptop when I go to a client site. It might freak them out a little bit.
The Panda. I like the Panda.
Take everything.
So if you guys don't have anything else, we're pretty much done.
Run. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.